Black Panther. Black Panther? if you synergize him up with a character who's wearing black pants. Hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, the thumbnail, the title are very clear, and I want you to see I am tantalizingly close to my next rank 4. This will be my second one. Depending on when these videos come out, you will see I did make a small run here at top 300 in gifting. It's how I enjoy playing the game, so I went for it. Went well above my aspirational budget, but still stayed well underneath my real hardline budget. We'll see if it happens. That's a separate video. We're going to count down the top 10, the contenders. This is a very difficult choice for me, even though I truly believe that in about 6 months, it'll seem almost silly, the amount of thought and hesitation, thinking late at night, falling asleep, thinking about who is my next rank 4. I would love to hear your thoughts, your comments. I always learn a lot from the comment section, from the way you all are playing the game, and we go about doing it. All right. I do have them actually ranked. This is in the order of, I really think most likely, I sat and I've thought about this a ton, but all of these are champions I legitimately am considering, and I can't wait to get those rank 4 resources and do it. I am in the alliance for Loki, which means war matters, and that will factor into my decision making more than I think your general account player or summoner, right? And then also prestige matters, but then also I'm in the alliance for Loki, which means prestige kind of doesn't matter. They're very honest and open about the idea. Rank who you want, rank who you enjoy, and as a collective group, we'll be fine in regard to prestige. Okay, here we go. Starting off with number 10. This is a very, very recent rank 3 for me. I actually used an awakening gem on her. I think she's an awesome champion. I have her currently in the super premium tier of my rankings list, which is kind of like the 3rd tier, but it's really the 2nd tier. She is fantastic. She is awesome. The more I'm playing her, and I'm just starting to really dive into playing her, all the things she can do, I'm really enjoying the power gain she gets on a well-timed block. It's only 6% of a bar, but it is a way to gain power. It even worked on polka dot power. I was very surprised to see that. It's a lengthy process. I'm not recommending it, but it can work. The safety net of her auto block, and then of course the tremendous damage off of the SB2, as long as the defender is not incinerate immune. That's part of my holdback though too. If she had a synergy like Nimrod that would be coming to the game, that would give her, if the opponent is immune to incinerate, she applies a shock or something like that, I'd be much more likely to just throw her probably into a higher tier in my rankings. That being said, I really like this champion. I love the synergies with which she brings, the synergy she has with Falcon. I showed that in the rank up video where she goes literally stun immune. It's like playing Hercules when she has her shield up, and then it adds 1 second onto Falcon's locked on, which helped me feel comfortable ranking him to rank 3, even with a lot of skill champions already at rank 3. And then, of course, her synergies with Spider-Pig, Spider-Ham, of course, Miles, Spider-Gwen, and then what she does for Mysterio, champions I really enjoy. And they also complement each other well. They're champions you could see yourself taking into a quest and feeling like you could handle a lot. And then last but not least, as far as, this shows you like how excited I am about all of these champions. This is the number 10, is placing her on defense. I think that'd be very scary to go against a rank 4 Sig 200, because I would have to take her to Sig 200. Prestige doesn't matter. Penny Parker, I think would be very frightening. And I've taken some Penny Parkers. I've used my Venom on, I think it was the polka dot power lane, right, or node in war. And just extending that fight even more would be disconcerting. It would be a little bit scary. I like this champion a lot. I could see me taking her to rank 4 in the not too distant future. Was rank 4 start piling in, but she's number 10. Very, very, very curious to hear your thoughts on it. Number 9, this guy just gets better. As another Sig 1 champion I used an Awakening Gem on a while ago. We placed him on defense thinking he'd be an amazing defender, and I think he has a tough fight. I think he's someone that attackers and war attackers need to make a plan for, they need to account for him, but I think he got 0 kills. A lot of really skilled fighters like Toffray went in with his Medusa and took him out, so that feels good. If you're making a skilled fighter like Toffray go in and having to use a specific champion like Medusa to take the fight, that means a good job is being done, and defensive plan is doing well, and Nimrod has served his purpose. However, in that time, I came to understand just how dominant Nimrod is. Oh, got a subscriber. Thank you, Colin. Appreciate that. Just how dominant Nimrod is in attacking mutants. And now that he has been fixed where his SP2 is doing the passive shock, he's even great for Red Magneto. It's really just Bishop. I have quite a few Nimrod videos out. If you're interested in them, you're not sure why, check him out. But also, I'm starting to call him the Tech Human Torch. And I mean this for this very specific reason. Human Torch is amazing against mystics. We all know that. So Nimrod, amazing against mutants. There's the similarity, but it goes further. Torch is also amazing in any matchup where there's energy damage, right? It helps ramp him up, his smolders and his temperature and all that good stuff. Any matchup where there is healing and or prowess, Nimrod dominates them. It allows him to get and or stay in his eradicate mode significantly longer and significantly easier. I was amazed by it. I have a video out on that. The thing is there's a lot of champions that do energy damage, so Human Torch has more wide use right now, and it will completely be up to Kabam and the defenders and nodes and attackers they put into this game. And if there's a lot of prowess and healing, I feel like there's more and more of that in the game than there has been. This feels like a very, very trending topic, let's call it. If that continues to happen, the prominence and value of having a Nimrod on your roster will only rise. There are very few champions that can deal with it. War Machine being one of them, he's very good. But Nimrod has the additional benefits of being dual immune, being a robot, and then, of course, his ability to handle mutants already. And then additionally, he does have a synergy. It's not in the game yet, but it is coming, that when an opponent is immune to shock damage, which is a lot of what Nimrod does, he will instead apply a Incinerate. So we'll have to see how good that other champion is with the synergy, but he has an extra way of doing his same damage. I'm very excited about this champion. One of the holdbacks from me on him, and actually why I don't have him higher up, because I genuinely love playing this champion. I think he's very valuable for an account, especially as it's growing, and he's situated to handle problems that Kabam will probably continue to throw at us, in my opinion. And there's enough of that problem in the game already that he already has a hold along value. It's not like I'm predicting this massive influx where there's just this tiny nugget, right? It's like there's just one champion that heals in the game and we're predicting there's going to be 20. It's more like, no, there's a lot of healing, there's a lot of prowess, there's nodes that are in the game. And if that continues on that rate, his value will only continue to rise. The only reason he is at 9 on this list and not higher up is, one, there's 8 other amazing champions, but additionally, he's about to come into the featured crystal. I want to be smart with my 6 stones, right? You don't know when you're going to get them. You don't know where they're going to come from. I do often buy deals, but I might not buy all of them. 6 stones are very expensive. And so I want to be smart with them, and he's about to come into the featured crystal. I plan to open a lot of the next one. I'm going to really go ham on it. I'm already saving. I have 90,000 shards. And so I would hate to take him to Sig 200 and then pull him a bunch of times, right? So for that reason, that's my big hold off on Nimrod. Let's move on to number 8. I think this one will surprise. I think the only surprise that will come from this one is that she is this low on the list. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know I pulled Kitty Pryde a very long time ago, very early on, took her straight to rank 3, enjoyed using her on streams, in quests. I have a lot of Kitty Pryde videos out. Check them out, playlists in my channel. She is amazing. I'm not going to talk about her as much in depth because I think a lot of us know what she can do, and I have a tremendous amount of videos out on her. I think she's situated to potentially be the best champion in the game, quote unquote, like air quotes, right? There's never a always best. But I have her in my pre 12.0 switch tier where it's like they're there because they almost don't make the rest of the rankings make sense. I used to have them in there with the rest of the champions, and it was just like, well, wait a minute. They like Red Magneto. I don't think he's one of the best champions in the game per se, but he absolutely shuts down metal. And there's so many times where he just is by far dominant. I feel like Kitty Pryde is definitely there, and the interesting thing is she can do that with almost any node. I mean, she can apply active debuffs, she can apply passives. Her phasing is incredible. She doesn't take damage. Her sig ability, and I've been saying this since the very beginning when there was talk of wanting her nerfed. I think the real biggest issue with her is her power gain on the hits while she's phased. I think that's the biggest potential. Maybe that's a little too much. I don't have her any higher on this list, despite loving playing Kitty Pryde and thinking she is, of those ultra dominant champions, she is maybe my favorite to play. Tough to see as I'm looking at the list, and I'm seeing my own list right now, but she's up there. It's for her, one, she's going to be in the next featured crystal. And so this is the same hold back with Nimrod of, if I'm going to put 126 stones into her and then I pull her, that doesn't feel like smart 6-stone resource use to me. There's plenty of champions I'd love to put them into, Captain America, Infinity War, Omega Red, something like that. But also with Kitty, I think on her own, I think I would have her in top shelf. Maybe super premium, probably in top shelf in my rankings. But it's her full team. It's her full team. You put Ghost and Tigra with her, and that's when she's really that ultra amazing dominant. You're just dashing back and forth. You learn the special animations for the defender, and you can just tackle anything. It's Kitty God mode. I think that's what Legacy and Damn Epic Whale call it, Kitty God mode, and they are absolutely correct. They're absolutely correct. And I'm getting better with Ghost, and I'm getting better with Ghost without Wasp. I'm still far from a good Tigra player. And so I'd like to allow a little more time. Kitty is plenty powerful at rank 3. And then in my BG, Legacy already has a SIG 200, I think, R4 Kitty. He is a great Kitty Pryde player. And so I'm not sure we really need another one. So for all those reasons, I have her at number 8. I would be very, very excited for the day I can take her to rank 4. And when I'm talking about my 3rd or my 4th rank 4, she's going to be a lot higher on this list. I already know that. Moving on to number 7, and he is only number 7 because of the same reason of the next featured crystal. You can see I like him so much. I've already taken him SIG 117. His SIG goes up in levels of 13. You receive that extra bonus with it. He is. You talk about a team, a sports team being more than the sum of their parts or being less than the sum of their parts. I think he's more than the sum of his parts in that you read through his abilities, or at least I know I did. It's like, okay, that sounds like a good champion, but like, why am I really using him? He doesn't seem amazing at anything. I feel like the game has gone from where a place, this is years ago now, where you wanted a champion who could do everything. And it was a problem if there was one thing they couldn't do. You're like, oh, why are you ranking them up? And then we went super ultra niche, incredibly niche. And then now I feel like the game's in this really beautiful sweet spot where you know your champion's not going to be able to handle everything. The game's way too complex. But if they can handle a lot of things exceptionally well, you got an amazing champion. And that is Null. That is Null. I've gotten videos out on probably all these champions, but I've got videos out on him as well. He is fantastic at short quests. I did not see that coming. I really just started pigeonholing him as a long form only type of champion, but I took him to war. He absolutely dominated some fights. The SIG ability, having him awaken, is very helpful in that though, and getting that ramp going. I've found that you can just use his SP1 over and over to get the encroaching corruption going if you're having difficulty getting to the SP2. I actually did that on stream the other day. We never went to the SP2, and we finished a 7.3 fight. I think it was in 2, maybe 3 SP1s. I was really working on trying to heal. He can heal. You can run suicides if you want to. A lot of people are telling me you don't have to, and he's still excellent. He has the poison and bleed and degen resistance. That is very unusual. He has a cosmic champion that doesn't gain any native buffs. If you need buffs, you can bring Odin, who's a good champion already. All of the synergies that Null has, it's pretty cool. Very, very on character, on brand for Null. Benefit him. But he does, and this came in for me in a quest. I wasn't doing it on stream, and I didn't put it in a video. I was just playing the game. But I think it was a Venom. I died, because I was running suicides, and he just died. But Null saves him for, I think it's like 15 seconds. It's a long time. You get a really big Fury buff. I was able to defeat the opponent in that. Very awesome champion. He's the kind of champion I like too, where you do, when I'm talking about early rank 4s or early putting a lot of unique high-end investment into, and that he doesn't need a synergy partner. I can run him with suicides. I can run him without. Sure, he might be slightly more powerful with them, but if I'm in AQ or I've just placed Alliance War Defense and I'm not running suicides, I can still use him, and he is going to be extremely effective and help me in content. I kind of want to, this is going to get harder and harder, or more and more difficult as we get higher in this list, because it's going to be more difficult for me to talk myself out of ranking this champion. The big holdback on him is the same one as Nimrod and Penny Parker. It is that he's going, and Kitty actually, wow, this next featured crystal is so good, is that he's going to be in the next featured crystal. And to take him to SIG 200 and to pull him, I just don't want to do that. I want to go big on this next featured crystal. That's my big holdout on him. But I have to tell you, excitement, genuine excitement, it's with Null. It is with Null, and you're going to hear it probably in my voice and a couple other champions. I love this guy. We didn't even talk about the auto block counter. He's great for MCoC's strands. Thank you for pointing that out. You are absolutely correct. I have used him against a lot of MCoCs. I cannot speak highly enough about this champion. I currently have him in Super Premium, and I am personally working. It's like a personal goal of mine to convince the rankings team that he should be in top shelf. And I'm hopeful that when we get out January that they're like, yeah, dude, we agree. He should be in top shelf. I hope I can convince at least one of them. All right, moving on to number 6. This guy makes complete sense to take up. I don't want to spoil anyone else's videos. I have some friends who I believe are taking him to rank 4. And then Campo himself just took him to rank 4. Very, very cool showcase video on that. He is amazing. I have loved him since day one. I thought you needed to have Cable to get him powered up, but I soon then realized, like, nope, he's so good. He is plenty fine on his own. The concussion immunity, Caban is placing that more and more and more. And as someone who doesn't maybe have the best quick twitch, it is really helpful to know that my parries are going to land. When you know, there's these nodes where he's like 15% ability reaction reduction, or it's a node, it's a lane in section 2 of War. It's in the game. Having to not have to worry about that is a really big deal. But here's the thing: that's just one of the things this guy does. And I'm not even talking about making the Horseman. Yes, it is awesome. It's amazing. I love playing Horseman Archangel in War. But just the synergy with Cable. Cable becomes an amazing, amazing champion just from having Apocalypse on the team and getting him ramped up. To be honest, I kind of like just having him at his 4 genetic code. I kind of just like how you have a fantastic champion, synergies with Strife, the ability to place multiple debuffs to get around shrugging abilities of defenders. He's fantastic. I cannot talk highest about him. I can't talk, apparently. I can't talk highly enough about Apocalypse and his worthiness of going to rank 4, making him more tanky. And then I know a lot of people, there's a lot of given back and forth on his SIG ability. No, I don't think it's as important as, say, like Archangels, but I like saving items. I really do. I have a feeling you probably do as well. And so a champion that when you give him a fight offered to and a quest heals, that's a good thing, all right? Save you from having to use units to purchase them or having to go out and grind them and farm them. I don't know. I like that ability in a champion. It's just in his SIG ability. It's kind of like Null, who we just talked about, healing. I don't know. I think that's a good thing. I love Apocalypse. He is very worthy. Check out Campo's video if you haven't yet. It's a very, very fun video. All right, unless you have been watching my channel since like almost day 1, or you're a big fan of Munash, and if you're not, you should be. You're gonna be very surprised by this next pick. If this was a year ago, this guy would have been my first rank 4. I pulled him early, absolutely fell in love with him, got a tremendous amount of negative feedback for saying that Guardian was a top shelf champion, and I've had him there ever since. He is fantastic. He is amazing. And his SIG is so worth investing in. I don't think people realize what is in the SIG ability. And I think the game was at a place where unless you were playing it at the super end game, you might not have maybe didn't have the appreciation for it. And also taking him to SIG 200 probably seemed like a pipe dream. Like, well, that's crazy. Why would you do that? I just happened to have the ability to do it. So I did. The block proficiency is incredible. It's amazing. I've taken Apocalypses on that strike back counter fury, and he's got a tremendous amount of furies. And I block the specials, and it's all good. It does not matter. The energy resistance, think about how many things are classified as energy, shock, incinerate. I'm sure there's more that I'm just not thinking of at the moment, like high ground currently in War. He is amazing. The bleed resistance allows you to run the bleed portion of suicides and then critical damage resistance. If you're like me and you make mistakes from time to time, not being critted into oblivion feels really, really good. And that's just his SIG ability. He's an excellent champion without it. He actually has it's power control. It is power control. And he can ramp up quickly. I think when he initially came out, we were so amazed by these SP2s and a 3-star Guardian, because that's what we all got, you know, taking out these massive fights. And then it was, well, no, that took hours to do because you have to throw so many SP3s. He doesn't need that. He does not need that. Your SP1, it's got a nice taunt on it. He's a fantastic champion. And I'm not even going to talk about his synergies and what he does for the rest of the team, because I think that, unfortunately, I think people are still learning how awesome Guardian is. Probably the most proud call, and I've made a lot of good calls, made some bad ones, but I made a lot of really good calls on this channel. And him a year ago, top shelf champion, that was probably one of my best and earliest, and probably one of the ones, because the channel is so small and people, you know, had no clue who I was, that got a tremendous amount of negative feedback on. And so it just feels good to have a lot in the community recognizing how amazing this champion truly is. He's already SIG 200. He's not going to be in the next Featured Crystal to the best of my knowledge. And so he makes a ton of sense for me to bring up to rank 4. Kind of tempted, a little nostalgia is kicking in. It's only a year ago, but that's where I land with Guardian. Let's move on to the next one. If you've been following my channel for a while, he fits a very similar criteria of Guardian, in that I pulled him very early and absolutely fell in love with this champion. I thought he was a fantastic champion, tremendous damage, pairs so well with mutants who are fantastic in this game, provides them tremendous synergies, and we're just going to stop there as far as what he provides for other champions on your roster. His ability to cause falter, that doesn't get talked about enough. That helps you ramp him up. That helps you avoid damage. Again, if you're mistake prone like me, that is a big deal. No, it's not healing, but having the opponent falter instead of you getting smacked in the face is a really big deal. And if you're playing well enough, you can actually use it to your advantage. Additionally, he's an evade and miscounter just out of the box. You don't need to throw a special one and keep a true strike up. You don't need to get a true strike buff. You don't need to get a true strike passive. You don't need to bring in a synergy. You don't need to punish a special. I'm running out of other ways that champions get this. He just, once you get to, what is it, like the 20 of his charges, I can't think what they're called right now, he just doesn't miss. That's it. He just doesn't. He doesn't get evaded. That's it. I think tech champions, okay, I don't want to overstate it. That alone is a big deal for me. I still, to this day, hate evade. I still hate it. He's fantastic. He doesn't need to apply a debuff. And then the community discovered a superior way of playing him. MSD and I think Barrowman discovered a superior way of playing him, a superior way of ramping up his prowess. And that took him, I already thought he was a top shelf champion. I already thought he was one of the best mutants in the game for all of that together. And then it was discovered that no, he's actually even better. His damage can be accessed even more quickly. I've taken him to SIG 200. I did this a while ago when I took Shang-Chi to SIG 200, because Professor X was most definitely going to be either my first or my second rank 4. I had absolutely no doubts about it at the time when I did this. I had 6 stones expiring, and well, you'll see who the other options are, but he was absolutely going to be it. I have to also be honest though, or forthright with myself. I don't use him in AQ, and I don't use him in Alliance War, and that's where I spend probably the vast majority of my day-to-day time in this game. I used him in Grandmaster's Gauntlet, and he was awesome. The only limitation on those fights was my skill with him. So if we get more content like that, or we've seen him now in Abyss, but I've been done with Abyss since like it came out. I think I was done within 2 or 3 months. Then I could see him having all that value. Or if the war map gets changed, I could see that as well. But right now, I don't think I would be bringing him to war or to AQ. And those are the modes of the game that I probably spend the most of my day in, day out time. That's my holdback with him. But I've got him at 1600. I've got him ready. And I truly believe he is one of the best champions in the game, even in the incredibly strong mutant class. All right, now we're in the top 3. We're in the top 3, and I know the numbers are skewed, but that's really just because the PI on Doom is so outrageously high. Doom is a rank 2 champion for me. Shang-Chi is, I'm sorry, Doom's a rank 3. Shang-Chi is the actual rank 4 on my account. And that's Doom. It's time to finally talk about Doom, the Doom in the room. Let's talk about the elephant in the room here. I've had him at SIG 200 for a very long time. The prestige is incredible, is amazing. I put a lot of resource into getting Doom and then taking him to SIG 200. I don't think we need to talk too much about Doom. The one thing I'll say is I have him in my pre 12.0 switch tier because while Clairvoyant and Diablo and Sorcerer's Premium Magic and Tigra, that's the top shelf tier for me in Mystics, while they're all extremely good and they're within the ballpark of Doom, Doom can do something that no other Mystic can do, and that is he can just completely control a variety of fights. Maybe the amount of fights he can completely control, because there's other champions who can control them too. But the amount of them that he can just absolutely laugh off with the Doom cycle is unparalleled. It is unparalleled. Your ability to purposely cause reparries. I think that term is trademarked by Legacy, so I now own. But you purposely cause those, get the power up on your defender, throw your SP1, drain, then get to your SP3, and the fight is now over. It's now over. Is particularly unique to Doom. The prestige obviously is the second highest prestige champion in this game. So that would be really helpful. Yes, I do think the game is moving in a direction as far as Mystics are concerned with Nullify and ability accuracy and those sorts of things. But Doom is still powerful. They would have to add a tremendous amount of defenders and nodes to counter specifically staggers and nullifies and things like that before I think his reign at the absolute top is in any danger of being diminished or coming to an end. He is absolutely tanky. So again, mistake-prone player like myself, I run Mystic Dispersion, which just benefits him more. But I've played him without Mystic Dispersion, and he's just fine. Sometimes I don't feel like taking Suicides off, and I run him with Nick Fury and Deadpool, and you can minimize the amount of specials you're throwing, and he clears full lanes in the event quest for me. He would save me items. This is a perfect rank 4 candidate. This is a perfect rank 4 candidate. So why not him? Well, because I like all these other champions a significant amount too. Additionally, I don't use him in AQ. He doesn't line up with any of my current lanes in map 8. And in War, I'm of the belief and I'm of the opinion that Doom is going to get banned quite a bit. He's going to get banned quite a bit. And additionally, my BG already has, I think, 2 rank 4 Dooms. I imagine we placed one on defense, and then Enzo is a very, very good player who I believe uses his rank 4 Doom, or maybe he's still using his 5-star. He's a very good player, and so he's using his. We kind of seem to have Doom covered, and I don't necessarily at this point where rank 4s are so rare, the holdback, the quote-unquote con on Doom is what would he really be providing besides prestige for my alliance? The rank 3 Doom is getting through content, right? And if I really need to, I can throw on a boost. So that is the quote-unquote negative of Doom. And that is clearly just a personal thing, very much about my account and the alliance and the BG I am in. Now it's time to get to number 2. And the more I play this champion, the more I love him. Miguel O'Hara. Miguel. Spider-Man 2099. I am like at the infancy of really understanding this champion. I put out a video recently on his SIG ability. The whole video, if you go and watch it, the whole framing is just the SIG ability, okay? Keep that in mind. It is not meant to be a full review of the champion or even the best way to tackle the fight that I chose, but I chose that fight because I wanted to show what the SIG ability can do. Taking him to SIG 200 because I think the SIG ability is a big deal. Save you the time from watching the video. I think it's a great SIG. I think he's good without it. I think he's amazing with it. My concern with Miguel is this. Is a lot of these ultra super difficult power control fights, it feels like you want to bring anti-venom synergy. And I don't have a 6-star anti-venom, but he is going to be in the next featured crystal. And I feel like anti-venom, I've talked with Strands quite a bit. Strands has an anti-venom. The anti-venom can do things. Simula has a good channel. I've linked some anti-venom videos. If you're curious, go to the playlist section on my channel. You can see there's quite a few Simula's videos in there. That's, for me, the only real negative. I know that Spider-Man 99, I believe, would be the only rank 4 in my BG. We could use him on War Attack. Strands has told me he's very helpful in AQ. I don't see him being helpful in any of my lanes, but I absolutely enjoy playing this champion. I've already taken him to 6200. I feel almost certain that Kabam will not put him in the next featured crystal, considering he's in the current one. He's a brand new champion to the game. And the more I play him, the more I feel like there's nuance in playing him. In fact, Fluffy Pig Monster even pointed out to me, look, I know you're interested in the Wither, and the Wither is a great debuff and is a great way of playing him and allows Miguel to take a lot of power gain fights. And I feel like that's something that's happening in the relationship between Science and Mystic. We're seeing more and more Mystics with this passive power gain. And Science champions are having a way of handling that. And Miguel is one of the best up there with Mr. Negative, plus the ability to not gain buffs. But what Fluffy pointed out was the rupture damage, which is a big deal in the SIG, can start to grow. But if you're able to throw the SP1, you are decreasing the physical resistance of the defender, meaning your power or your damage from the ruptures will increase even further. And then when you get to the SP2 to land it with all those unique debuffs on the defender, that SP2 is going to be even nicer. I absolutely love playing this champion. He has some niches that are very unique to my account as far as not getting buffs and the Wither debuff. And then I feel like even if I'm not using him specifically for his niche, he still has ways he can go about doing damage and have a lot of fun. He's not suicide friendly, so that is a potential issue. But aside from that, I think he provides tremendous value to my account. I absolutely love playing him, which is something I always recommend. It's those are the first two things I ask people when they ask me, should I rank him champion? Like, does he add something to your account? Will they help you with questing? Is there content that you can't do that this champion will help you out with? And two, do you enjoy playing them? If you can answer yes to both those questions, then they are absolutely a worthy to rank up and go for it. If you don't enjoy playing him, you're not going to rank him. I absolutely enjoy playing this champion. I love playing Miguel. That's not two things, it's the same one over and over. He would add something very unique to my roster, even though I already have a rank 3 Mr. Negative and a rank 3 Overseer. He would help me out in Alliance War. He would provide us another option. I don't believe we have any rank 4 Miguel O'Hara's, so I would love to do that. And then, of course, if I need to use him for AQ, I can. The biggest potential negative with him is that he's not suicide friendly, but I change my mastery so much when War Season's on. It's really not that big of a deal. It's just been this last off season where I've really just kept suicides on the whole time. And even then, I could run the Nick Fury Synergy if I really, really need to. And then number one, to no one's surprise, is Hercules. And I mean, I can hear it in my own voice right now. I'm not excited about it. And I'm not excited about him because I feel like everyone who has a rank 4 has a rank 4 Hercules. And, you know, I don't want to just be a total hipster on this one and be stubborn, right? I mean, what's the saying? Like, don't bite your nose off to spite your face, right? Don't hurt yourself just because you're spiting something. I do love playing this guy. And I remember when he even came out, I'm like, just his animations, look at him. Like, what's he doing there? Staring off in the distance and then back. I mean, he looks to me like a guy who's telling dad jokes when he was like 16 years old. Like, this guy is corny. He's funny. I love him. I have him my pre 12.0 switched here, and he does not need a single synergy to do that. I love Shang-Chi. I love Kitty Pryde. But I have to admit, I think Hercules is the most dominant champion to come out of this year. What year is it? 2021? And I think he's the most dominant. He doesn't need synergies to do it. He can be run with suicides. He can be run without. I do think suicides are very helpful to him if you want to be healing and things like that. But his damage is going to be just fine. I've talked with many of you, viewers and friends online and things like that. I know every once in a while I get myself in a little trouble playing with him because I get a little too aggressive, let's call it, or throw caution to the wind. And I try to do intercept and all this stuff. And I've found, because it's in war fights where I typically am like, okay, dude, calm down. You just slow down, land your parries and land your heavies, and you'll grow your feats of strength. And if the champion can't be stunned, that's fine. Just get your openings from baiting heavy and then punish with the heavy there. he is fantastic. And then if you want to synergize him up with Black Panther, Black Panther? if you synergize him up with a character who's wearing black pants, he's great. No, but Black Panther, Hawkeye, of course, I-Hulk, like the team that you can surround him with is full of awesome champions too. I mean, you can tell the care and thought and desire to make a completely overpowered champion was put into him. My heart's just not there. I even have him at number 1. I put him at number 1 to kind of stress test this for myself, and my heart is just not in it. I could hear it in myself. I could feel it. My excitement is with Miguel, Professor X, Guardian, Null, Nimrod, and Penny, and Kitty too. But with Kitty, Null, Nimrod, and Penny, I know that how much apprehension I would take into opening the next featured crystal. So I did this as much for myself, and to get advice from you all, but also just to hear it for myself. And I think about this, and I really think it's going to be Miguel, Professor X, Guardian, or Null. I really think it is. Herc will eventually go up, but no one can tell me that he's not good enough at rank 3. I mean, this guy takes fights for me in AQ that he had no business taking. It's a stun immune lane in Section 3 where Cosmic Champions actually have their attack power reduced by 50%, and he is by far the best option for it. He's just incredible. He is amazing. On his own, likely the most overpowered dominant champion on this list, up there with Doom. Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, I can see how long this video is. Thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed kind of some of the insights on the champions. You probably are aware of a lot of them already, but this is something I am constantly talking about, even in my tier list. The whole tier list I do is based on you got to think about your account. That some champions will be better than other champions in certain circumstances, but the game is way too complex. You got to enjoy the champion, and you absolutely have to understand or think about how are they going to help your account. Because you could have 4 top shelf champions, but if they all do basically the same thing and you chose not to rank other champions who would provide a more balanced roster for you, you're eventually probably going to regret it. Or you're going to use a lot of items, which then you'll probably regret. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your opinion. I'm very curious to hear, one, who you think I should, like if you're just like, dude, if I was in your shoes or listening to you talk, here's who I think you should rank up. And two, who would you like to see me rank up? This is fun. It's a YouTube channel. We're doing this for fun. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.